So if we go to the full store directory, here's all the different categories that are currently available for us. And right now, there is no pet category available, which is, I think, fairly surprising given the volume of sales that we can make an educated guess on that Amazon actually makes thanks to the pet category. So let's put that aside for a second and just say right now there isn't a pet category on Amazon. However, if we go to Amazon, just search for dog bowl, what some very, very enterprising young folks are doing is they're simply listing them in kitchen and dining or wherever it may be. And so you can see there's loads of people selling pet products, but they're putting them into the wrong category whilst they wait for the right category to come on. And that's a pretty tried and tested strategy for a lot of things. Unfortunately not for Amazon Fresh related items, but for most kind of like inanimate objects and things that you don't consume, nor do you topically apply, then it's a good strategy. So what do you do in the interim? What do you do in the interim? And more importantly, how can you use this, as Phil and Mandy say, to get traffic to your product? All right, so it's a great question, and it gives me the opportunity to play a little game, which is kind of fun. All right, so here's our little game, and you guys can all play along, especially Phil and Mandy. You have to play along, but everybody else can play along too, okay? I'm going to use a very, very cool thing that I learned in a seminar that I went to in the United States quite a long time ago by a very, very famous copywriter who's now unfortunately died. And when we got into the seminar, one of the first things that this guy did was he said to us, and I'm going to paraphrase this: let's imagine that we are all going to start a restaurant that sells burgers. Now, you can have any competitive advantage that you would like for your burger restaurant. You can have whatever it is that you would like, you can have it. What is the one competitive advantage that you would like to have that you believe would make your restaurant successful? So that was his question, kind of the first question he asked when we walked into the room, and that is the question I'm going to ask to you as well. So let's all play along. So we're all going to start our burger restaurant. You get to choose one competitive advantage that you could have. So it might be like, for instance, you're going to sell organic patties, for instance, or you've got your own special pickle that you use on it. Like, you can pick anything. What is the one competitive advantage that you would have if you were able to have it for your burger restaurant? So, questions in. Yes, well done, Sue. Questions in our little area. What is the one competitive advantage you would have? So, well done, Kevin. Agnes says, quality meat. That's pretty important. I agree with that. Alan, well done. Adam says location. Good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Juliet says price. Yeah, that's pretty important. Phil and Mandy say position. Yep. Bill says people know where you are, which is like, you know, that old retail maxim, location, location, location. Hitton says gourmet ingredients. Bernard maybe has it right. Annie definitely has it right. Derek says location. Tracy, location. Armin says unique people. Mel, yes, good. Sharon says the best tasting healthy burgers. Derek, well done. Athena says branding. Asher says home delivery. Steve says great images. John, focus on healthy people. Jenny, well done. Lizzie says exclusivity. All right, so Juliet, cuts cost. Greg, vegetarian. Let me help you out here. Lots of good people putting some good stuff in. But a lot of folks got this right too, so which is great. The only thing that matters when you are opening a restaurant, indeed when you're selling anything at all, in this instance, it's what Gary Halbert, which is the guy I'm referring to, would call a starving crowd. Now, you can sell the worst hamburgers in the world, and if you put them in front of a crowd of hungry people, you will make a shitload of money. You'll make a shitload of money. And the only thing, the most important thing about selling anything at all online is putting it in front of a starving crowd. Now, loads and loads of you got that right. Kudos to you that did. That's bloody awesome. You did really, really well. So, how does that apply to getting traffic to our listing on Amazon? Well, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So, when you are selling things anywhere at all, the most important thing that you can do is put your listing, put your product in front of a group of people with a problem that your product solves. So that's the best thing you can do. And you can have a shitty listing, shitty copy, kind of okay product, not necessarily the best quality product. You can have an average everything else, but if you put your product in front of people with a very clearly defined problem that they want, must, need to solve, you will make sales. You will make sales. Okay, so online, what that means is you got to go where your customers are. You've got to go where your customers are. And there's a lot of places online where you can run traffic and you can run advertisements. Traffic is where you are getting qualified customers to go look at your product. Okay, so that's what traffic means. So there's a lot of places online where you can go run traffic to your particular offer. And this here, this dog bowl, well, this is our offer. Let's just pretend that we're selling this now. This is our offer. So what we need to do is we need to put our product in front of people who have a dog and also who have need of a dog bowl. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do that. So let's just go through some simple ways. Well, we already know about, what's this I'm looking at? About Facebook. So I was talking about Facebook a little bit earlier. Facebook, you can put your advertisements in front of starving customers with a particular problem, all right? And there's two sorts. Cool, we can go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper. Google.com.au. There's two sorts of marketing. There is interruption marketing, and there is search marketing. All right, now Google and Bing are both search marketing platforms, meaning people come to this platform, people come to Google, and they're looking for a solution to their problem. They're looking for a dog bowl, for instance. They're looking for a dog bowl, for instance, okay? So they are actively looking. So what that means is you really ought to be running ads on Google AdWords because people go there specifically because they have got a problem that they're trying to solve. And if you put your advertisement in front of them, then you've got a very high likelihood of your product becoming the solution to their problem, if that makes sense. So definitely, Phil and Mandy, you ought to be running traffic on Google. You ought to be running traffic as well on Bing. Now, the big difference between those two platforms, most people don't realize that Bing is the most used search engine by the over 60 community, which is what we would really think of as the baby boomers. So more baby boomers use Bing than they do use Google, which is extremely surprising to most people. Why do you think that might be? Why do you think more people who are baby boomers use Bing than use Google? What's your best guess on that? All right, let's have a look. John, very well done. Ash, well done. Athena, well done. All right, you guys are rocket. God, you guys are bloody smart. All right, so very, very smart. You guys have nailed it. It's because it's the default browser and the default search engine, Internet Explorer, should I say, is the default browser, and Bing is the default search engine within Internet Explorer. And most folks over 60 are just using the default settings. And so because of that, that's why Bing has such amazing traction. So if you are selling to baby boomers, you really ought to be using Bing to market your products on. All right, that's a very important thing for you to realize. And that's all search driven marketing. But there's another sort of marketing too, which is, of course, let's just go back, which is interruption marketing. Now, interruption marketing, that's things like Facebook, that's things like Pinterest and Instagram, which you probably are very, very aware of. But it's also things like YouTube marketing. There are 1.2 billion people at any time logged into YouTube. 1.2 billion people at any time logged into YouTube. That's a lot of the population of Earth by anybody's estimation. But nobody is going to YouTube looking to buy a dog bowl, but they may be there looking to watch videos about dog training and things like that. So you can get your advert in front of somebody who's at least in the universe of potential buyers for your product, and then you can put an advert in front of them about your awesome dog bowl, and if they're interested, they'll click onto it. So that's why it's interrupting, because you're interrupting what they're doing. Ditto on Facebook. Nobody goes to Facebook to buy a dog bowl. They're all there looking at cat videos and dog videos. But again, you can put your product in front of people who could be interested in your product. So let's just get rid of these. So for instance, this is a thing called Facebook Audience Insights. You need a business account. I'm just going to give it to you. Hey Jenny, how are you, love? They're going to give you a link. I don't know if that link's going to work for you, in all honesty. I'm not entirely sure, because you need a business account. Okay, send to all. If it doesn't, just Google Facebook Audience Insights and you'll get there, right? So here we can now start to look at and start to work out how to get our product in front of people who shop on Facebook. And if we just put in here, let's not even say dogs, let's say pugs. Let's see if we can get a pug dog, pug lovers. There we go. So now we can find all the people that love pugs within any given marketplace. Let's just go completely. They're just going to go anywhere at all. Let's just have no parameters at all. I was just doing something earlier. Now I can see people who love pugs. I can work out what pages I should be running my adverts on. So I can find out all these different things about pug related people and how to get my product for my new improved pug dog bowl in front of them. So there's a lot of scope for that. You can do a similar thing on Instagram as well. Pinterest works in a similar way. But again, that's all going to be interruption marketing. And then the other way I would go about getting traffic is I would come to Google and I would put in, let's just see, pet forum Australia, because there's lots of different ways of getting traffic and lots of different ways of putting your marketing message in front of hungry people. All right, so forums are a brilliant way of doing that. Very, very cool way of doing that. And there's a couple of different ways of doing that. So you've got all here now. Pet Forum Australia. I'm looking at forums all about pets in Australia, okay? So I've got Paw Club, Pets Australia, Dog Forum, etc., 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 all right? So lots of different ones, even Whirlpool, which is a huge one. Let's have a look at Whirlpool. Huge one in Australia, Whirlpool is. So once you've got your once you've got onto here, if you're selling in the dog niche, then really you ought to get yourself signed up and start helping people on these niches. Now, here is some remarketing. That's for digital marketer. I was on the digital marketer site earlier. So here's some remarketing. So I can run adverts on this website too. Again, there's another advert I can be running. That's through something called remarketing on the audience network. So I can use that, and that's all run through Google, all right? There's another remarketing advert, etc., etc., etc. So I can put my advert with laser-like focus onto forums. Indeed, and you may not realize just how crazy that can get, but indeed, let's just go to petforums.com. Let's do that one. I can even go down to, let's suppose, and I'm not suggesting that you do this, but you know, you can learn a lot from it. For instance, let's suppose you start up a question on a forum all about what is the best dog bowl for your Labrador to use. All right. You start that question, and then that question will have its own, let's just go to a pretty popular one. That question will have its own URL like this, all right? Now, using Google AdWords, I can run a specific advert to that specific URL. So I can create the page and then put the advert on it as well. So you can do that too, which is kind of fun. But this has got advertising on it too, as you can see, all very, very simple. So that's a good indicator, Phil and Mandy, of the different kind of things you can do. Naturally as well, if you're going to run traffic, run it through PPC on Amazon outside of Australia. PPC is not live in Australia yet, but it will be very, very soon. PPC is also a very good way of doing it, as is search engine optimization on the Amazon website too. But that gives you some other ideas about marketing your product on Amazon using other traffic sources. I really ought to do a whole thing about traffic, because you know, it is the lifeblood of any business. And now, let me tell you something really important. Now, more than ever, Amazon is looking for brands, as I've said repeatedly, but brands that also have got diversity of marketing. So the weight that Amazon gives to traffic coming from outside Amazon is exponentially bigger than the weight it gives for traffic that comes from within the Amazon architecture. Now, why would they do that? Well, Amazon wants you to pay to market Amazon. And if you do that, they will reward you handsomely with increased SEO ranking. So you get a double whammy. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You get a double whammy. Amazon wants you to market Amazon for them, so they don't have to. And the way that you would do that is by running traffic on websites like this that link back to your Amazon listing, and on Google AdWords, on Facebook, Pinterest, yada, yada, yada. And if you do that, then they will reward you with increased ranking in the SERPs. You get a boost like you wouldn't believe. Because they want you to have, well, they say they want you to have an integrated approach to your brand and business. That's bullshit. What they want is you to run outside traffic to their website for them, so that they can increase the number of people who sign up for Amazon Prime. That's the real reason that works so well, and they will reward you handsomely for doing it. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.